Good morning. I am in my living room today. My basement's still under construction, and we did like the perimeter of the flooring, but the rubber mats are actually a lot harder to put together than we thought. So I have the perimeter and then the rest is concrete. So I was like, I'll just be up here today. So active recovery is something that I wanted to do because my body is sore. And I figured it'd be nice for you guys to have this on here, and maybe I'll incorporate a little more and do some of these days. You are welcome to do any of the upper body or leg days that you'd like, depending on what your schedule is. I know right now I'm running the run camp group, so I'm running Tuesday evenings. So I am doing exercises still, and my group is doing that, and many of the group members are actually participating in that as well. So active recovery is a day where you do something, and maybe you're not doing it with me right this second, but you're going to be doing it later, where you're just moving your body, and especially in the morning we're stiff. So I'll stop talking about that and let's just start kicking your booty. So it's going to be more of a light stretching day. We're going to move a little bit. I'm not yoga certified, so I do a lot of yoga in the morning. I typically wake up and go into my spare bedroom and do a yoga session there. But I'm not yoga certified, so I can't actually instruct that. We're going to do some stretching though that might simulate yoga, but it's not going to be focused on that. All right, and let's march in place. Gotta get the blood pumping a little bit so that we're not cold. And if you do have a foam roller or a rolling stick or a tennis ball, I can show you a few items of that I like to do in the morning. Like I said, I'm very tight, so I tend to do that. I should do it more. But there's always ways. Somebody's commenting. Keep marching. Good morning, Becky. Thanks for joining. So just moving the body a little bit. Like I said, of course, being asleep, you always are stiff. Although Becky works third shift. So now we're going to reach opposite hand to leg. I'm going to keep my chest up. Now, your hamstrings might be kind of tight if you're doing this in the morning. So make sure you're keeping your chest up. Don't worry so much about being, kicking as high as you can. And you might be out of breath a little bit sooner if you're not used to doing any sort of movement in the morning. So no worries on that either. And we'll probably be here, 15 minutes or so. It won't be so long, just something to move your body when you need to move a little bit. All right, let's widen those legs up, and we're going to go from side, kind of off the carpet. So I'm going to bend into one side, and that other leg is straight. So moving back and forth. So you're going to see that I'm doing a lot of dynamic kind of stretches to start us off, which means that you're moving through the stretch. So a static stretch is where you're holding it, like if we're touching our toes, which we might do later, is something that you want to do when you're a little bit more warm, okay? And these are good to do after you do a run also, or after you do a hard workout. Anything is always good to move and stretch your body. If you have been having a slouch of a day and you need a little pick-me-up, that's also good. All right, you can set those feet together. We're going to stand back up. We're going to do hip circles. So we're going to open our leg up backwards. So you're opening up those hip flexors a little bit. And just heard some cracks. You might hear some of that. Also very important in the morning to drink water before you start eating or drinking your coffee. Let's go forward. I try to get a whole water bottle in before I eat my breakfast. I do like coffee. I drink it black, but I do like to make sure I'm getting enough water in before I start my morning. Well, let's do two more. All right, let's roll out the ankle. Might hear some cracks. And roll the other direction. And other side. Oh, this one's really cracky. Other side, or other direction. Whoop. All right, now I'm gonna get a drink. Especially when you're moving your body, even if you're not moving something so intensely, you still need to hydrate. You're constantly perspiring, even if you don't feel it. Or perspirating? I think both of those are correct, actually. Okay, so now we're gonna do a little bit more of some stretching. Let's inhale up. Clasp those hands together. I'm gonna have you flip your palms up. My ring. I just got those silicone rings. We're gonna reach to one side. Relax those shoulders. Stretch out that side. You can have your feet spread apart a little bit if you need to. But a nice side bend. Stretch all that out. Breathe into that space. And inhale up. We're gonna go to the other side. So trying to keep that opposite hip back, so the hip that you're not leaning on that side, pushing it back, because it tends to want to curl forward, keeping that shoulder open. You don't have to be out so far. And release. We're going to clasp our hands behind us. I like to spread my feet out, open that chest up, look up. And we're going to bend our knees and let the hands waterfall over. You can straighten your legs a little bit more if you need to. All right, from here, we're gonna place our hands down. Keep that right. I'm actually gonna take my socks off because I might slip with this one on. I'm gonna keep my right foot forward, step that left leg back, and I'm actually gonna go to the side so you can see me. So I've got my left leg straight. I'm pushing into the calf and the hip flexors, my knees in front of my ankle, and we're actually gonna just move back and forth. So we're gonna move, straighten that front leg, and we're gonna bend into that front leg. That left leg or that back leg stays straight the entire time. Your head is along for the ride. We're not moving too fast. You're probably tight. If you're not straightening, that's okay, okay? It's still morning. Now, active recovery can also look like a yoga day, can also look like taking a walk, something that's gentle on your body. Just a stretching day. It really can be anything. If you are training hard for something and then all of a sudden you stop moving your body like the next day and you don't do anything, it's going to be harder for your body to recover. You need to have days like this where you're like, I'm just going to do it, move a little bit. Something light. All right, we're gonna hold down here. Hold it. I'm gonna have you put your back knee down. We're gonna hold here. Stretch that hip flexor out a little bit more. I'm gonna turn toward you. Stay where you're at so you can see me. I'm gonna bring my hands inside my foot, turn the foot out to the right, and then I'm gonna open up my hip. Now this one's easier if you don't have shoes on. And you should feel it in your hips and your glutes back here, okay? If you are feeling really antsy, you can grab that back foot. So I'm bending my back foot up and grabbing my toes. And that's a really, really deep quad stretch, but that's not available to everybody, and that's okay. So you can stay right here. All right. And we are gonna bring that back. Bring that left leg in front, hands on either side of your foot, and we're gonna straighten that right leg. So, hip flexor stretch, my back leg is straight, head's in line with the spine, and we're gonna straighten that leg. Ooh, this side's a lot tighter, and bend into it. Again, keeping that right leg straight, or back leg straight. Make sure you're breathing throughout all of this. Nice and slow. Your body is still stiff. It's still waking up. This is also good if you sit a lot. If you want to do this before you sleep. If you've been at the office all day. Always good. Make sure you're breathing. Just a couple more. last one, and drop that back knee. Okay, hold here for a second. You can flip that foot down so it's not curled under, or you can keep it curled under. And we're gonna bring the hand inside, turn that left toes out, and then open up. So you're trying to show me the gum that's on the bottom of your shoe. Okay, so you feel that. If you need a little bit more, bend that back leg and you can grab that with that left hand. Again, this is a lot of stability. It's a very, very deep stretch. And that might be too much for you right now, and that's okay. So you can stay right here. All right, we're gonna bring that back. We're gonna be down here for some cat and cow because it's good to move the spine. All right, so heads in line with the spine, hands and knees. So we're gonna inhale, drop your belly, stretch the chest open, and exhale, round your back. And inhale. This one feels really good. Exhale. And inhale. Stretch that belly out and exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale. All right, I'm going to turn to the side here. Let's curl those toes under, and I'm going to have you come up to downward dog so we can stretch our calves out. So you press up and press back. Ooh. And you know what? Can you see my feet? I think you can. Let's bend and just shake out your head a little bit. Bend into one foot. We'll keep this nice and dynamic here, where you're moving and pushing down the heels, stretching the calves out. After you're done shaking your head, just press into the calves a little bit. Ooh, you might hold a little bit longer on one side. That tends to be really tight if you're a runner or any type of jumping that you do. If you wear high heels all day, a lot of things make that really tight. All right, let's bend down onto our knees, and we're gonna walk our hands in. We're gonna do a toes pose, is what they call it in yoga. So this is a really great one for runners too. So I'm gonna tuck all my little toes under so my feet are flat and flexed, and I'm gonna sit on my heels. Okay, so you should feel a nice stretch in the bottoms of your feet. I'm gonna show you in a second a tennis ball one that I like to do too, just in case you have that. Golf ball works, lacrosse ball, something that's harder. You might actually have like stretching balls too, but so stretching your feet out here. Let's look straight ahead, sit up nice and tall, and lean your head to the side. Stretch that neck out. And make sure you're breathing into it. And up, other side. And you guys can always hold these poses longer if you need to. So this one is specifically designed if you're in the morning and you just need something that's a little quicker. That's what we're doing. And up, look down. So meanwhile, putting that pressure into your toes. If this is too much, you can come out of it and flip your toes down. So looking down. And look to the side. And look down. And look to the side. And look down. All right, let's come onto our hands and roll those ankles out. I know that's a lot on your feet. Like I said, if you're running, that is something that you will definitely want to start doing that. Alternatively, if you don't have a tennis ball right now, that's okay. You can just keep rolling your ankles out. You can stand up and use this tennis ball and roll your foot out. So I won't do it long in case you don't have one, but this is a really great one. I like to use this for my feet a lot. I also have a roller here that I like to use. This one's kind of hard, but I also will use this for my feet. It gets a little bit more intricately into my feet, but obviously most people probably have a tennis ball rather than that. Also with the tennis ball, I like to sit on it. Now I don't put all my pressure on it, but my butt tends to get really tight. And I like to roll these muscles out in the morning. Sometimes I'll hold on a spot that's a little bit more owie, and roll that out. You can sit on this with your calves. I'm gonna switch sides quick. With your feet. You can do it really with anything. It can be a little bit harder. With the foam roller, it's a little bit easier. And I will do a specific foam rolling video too. If you do have a foam roller, I'll show you this one I like to do in the morning. And then we'll get back to our show if you're just sitting here. I like to lay on it, on my back. Make sure your head is supported. So if yours is short like mine, you might have a long one. And I just open up my chest and just let my hands open. Let my shoulders open. And I'll hold this for a little bit. I might do goal posts with my arms. Let that stretch out a little bit more. And then I also will clasp my hands behind me and do that here. So those are really great options. Again, I won't stay here too long in case you don't have a foam roller. But those are really, really great options. If you sit all day, we tend to start hunching. So you want to make sure you're opening all that up. So let's sit crisscross applesauce, cross that arm over, stretch that shoulder out. Now because we're a little bit warmer, I am doing some static stretches, which is just fine because your body is warm enough because you've been moving. At the beginning, you don't want to just jump into something other side, that your body is cold and just moving into a static stretch because you can pull something. But now that you've been moving a little bit, we've been moving through some motions, you're a little bit warmer and ready to go. All right, we're gonna reach up, scratch your back, grab that elbow and lean, keeping that hip down on the ground. And up, other side, and lean. And up. All right, I'm gonna scoop my booty down. I'm actually gonna shift positions for you guys. I'm gonna lay down gently, cross that leg over. We're gonna flex those feet and bring the opposite leg in. So I've got my left leg crossed over and pulling in my leg. I'm feeling a nice stretch in my glute and my hips. And breathe into that. And other side. So bend that other leg, cross that over and lift that up. Now if this is too much from you, you can grab a strap too so that you can hold your leg, or a towel or something, rather than having your hands clasped behind your thigh, because you might not have the flexibility right now, and that's okay. So you could always modify with that. You don't want to push yourself too hard where you're going to be pulling something. You got to listen to your body. You know, if you're not warm enough, don't stretch as hard. All right. And let's windshield wiper the legs a little bit. All right, and I'm going to slowly roll up. You can also turn to your side if you'd like. I'm going to face you again. Let's put our legs out long, and let's just wiggle those hips. This one feels really good for your hip joint. I learned this in a runner's yoga years ago, and it just feels really good. I'm like, oh my gosh, it like lubricates your joints. It feels great. So just wiggle back and forth a little bit. Then you can bend. I'm going to have my heels on the ground, and we're just going to, again, windshield wiper here. This feels great, kind of stretches some unique spots on the body. All right, so I'm going to step into a little ball. I'm going to press my hands down onto the ground, and then I am going to straighten my legs as best I can. So remember, it's morning. We'll stretch the hamstrings here a second. Relax the head a little bit. And just stretch them out just a smidge. And we'll bend our knees, slowly roll up through your spine. Head is the last thing to rise. Nice and slow. You don't want to come up too quickly. And you can roll your shoulders back, shake those arms out. And that was an active recovery day. So something light. I feel a lot better now that I've gotten some aches and pains, some kinks out of my body from sleeping. I'm going to continue to drink my water, and then I'm going to go make some breakfast. So I will see you next time, and thanks for joining me. Have an awesome day.